So we are going to compare the KO oversized MP08 Grimlock in stainless steel color with the FansToys FT-08X metallic version of grinder. And I'm going to do this in a kind of a rapid fire style just to get it done a little bit quicker. But we will go through every category just so you can compare and see for yourself. So starting off with accessories, they both come with a blaster done in black plastic. The KO does have a little bit of paint, but overall they work the same. The FansToys has the light up feature built into here, whereas the KO has the light up feature built into the hand. You just press the button on the back of the arm and that turns on. So I'm going to call those pretty much the same, and the gimmick is pretty much the same too. They both have the sword. The FansToys one has a light up feature built in, whereas this one does not. So they have a gimmick here for the sword. And then the KO and FT both have the crown. The FansToys one is done in a nice die-cast piece, but they both have the crown, so we'll give them a tie for that. And since this one has the gimmick here, we can change the eyes from red to blue, blue to red, but this one has the light-up sword feature. I'm going to give them a tie on both accessories and gimmicks. They are literally equal in both. Next, we'll talk about the cartoon accuracy. In order to do that, we'll put the G1 image here so you can take a look. And both are pretty darn close. I think FansToys went for a little more heroic proportions, bigger chest, bigger legs, and kind of a smaller waist area. Whereas the KO, it's just a copy of the original, but the original was definitely going for a more cartoon accurate look with those kind of longer, slimmer legs. So I'm going to give cartoon accuracy over to the KO, but I'm going to give the Sculpt over to FansToys. It's just a lot cleaner. You can look at the back of the wings. If you look at the inside of the legs, the back of the legs, you got the tail sticking out there. I think overall FansToys is a much cleaner look. It's one of the only Grimlocks that has covers on the legs built into the transformation, so I think that's a really smart thing they did. But I'm going to give Sculpt over to FansToys. Next, we'll talk about the paint. Both of these are painted in a sort of metallic silver. This is a little bit darker of a silver, but they both have that. They both have the gold chrome. I do think the FansToys gold chrome is a little more vibrant, but they both have it. And they both have silver here. They both have the blue and the translucent red and green. So I'm going to give them a tie on paint. They're really almost identical. When it comes to build quality, though, I'm going to have to give it to FansToys. Not only does it have more ratchets and hardware built in, just overall, it seems to be more sturdy and well built. It doesn't have floppy things like the tail on the back here, so we're going to give build quality over to FansToys. Next, we'll talk about articulation. They are pretty similar in terms of articulation, but FansToys is going to get the extra points for articulated hands and fingers. And they're also going to get a point for the tilt here. We do have a little bit of a tilt, but it doesn't go outwards, so it's a little bit limited. I'm going to give articulation to FansToys. Next, we'll talk about the transformation engineering. When it comes to transformation, almost all Grimlocks are the same. These are no exception. They transform very similar, not only to each other, but to the original design. So we're going to give them a tie on transformation. But I got to give engineering to FansToys. They figured out a way to cover up the legs and make it look really nice. Nice detail and sculpt there. So we'll give engineering to FansToys. And next we'll talk about the cost. The cost is kind of a no-brainer. The KO comes at $90. This is originally $280, around that price point, but now it's in the thousands. So either way, we're going to give it to the KO. And next we'll talk about the members' choice category. We asked my members which one they prefer, just based on their own personal preference. And surprisingly, it was really close, but it looks like FansToys is going to win the members' choice category. When it comes to alt mode, both of them pretty close, but I'm going to give alt mode over to FansToys. I think it's got just a little bit better overall cleanliness, and it comes together a little bit better, so we'll give that to FansToys. So final thoughts on this comparison, you can see the score there, and FansToys is going to take this one. KO is able to keep up with some of the scores here. Now, I did make a mistake. It is actually the sword that has the light up feature. So both swords have the light up feature, but the gun on the KO does not. But since they had the light up, the switching eye gimmick in the head, I kind of tied them out for gimmicks. But I just wanted to clarify, this gun does not light up on the KO. But pretty darn close. So if you want a metallic styled Grimlock and you can't either find this guy or afford this guy, it's a pretty good option for a metallic Grimlock. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.